It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, October 9th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live, or the Fox local app, YouTube, WSN. That's right. Subscribe to the show. Hit that like button as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Ryan and Money, I'm coming out hot. I got a bone to pick.
Uh-oh.
I got a bone to pick. Should I start picking my bone, Pauls, or should I get Maz involved?
Oh,
Should I say hello to Maz first?
Your call, my friend.
Tom
Your call.
Mazaway, how you doing? How was your weekend, sir?
I'm good, Bray. Great weekend.
It was a great weekend?
Great weekend. My wife was up at Mother's Day at Grant Valley, so it was just me and Maddie. All I had to do this weekend was get Maddie to homecoming pictures. The rest of the time, I watched football.
Love it.
Pretty good weekend for me outside of putting some diesel efficiency fluid in the wrong spot in my car, and now my car is donezo to the tune of blah, blah. It's going to be a pretty penny, so I'm upset about that, but glass half full, glass half full. But something I'm not glass half full on is, Ryan and Monty, you and I, we tried to do everything that we're asked to do from people. Try to go to games. We try to go to events. We try to show up for the cider mill. We try to show up wherever people ask us to go. They're always been in our ear. Hey, Brian, would you do this? Would you do that? And because you don't want to say no, you do it. And a lot of times you double book yourself. I too double book myself, or I too say no. But I ask people, and when you want me to do something, when you want me to show up for you, just please do me the solid of not asking during the Michigan game, the Detroit Lions, or really those big games on Sunday night, maybe Thursday night, because I'm going to say yes because I want to fulfill it. I want to do it. But then when the day comes, I'm going to be pissed. And then it's going to be, then I'm going to resent you for asking me. You put me in the spot to have to say yes. So please, take the decision out of my hands. Don't ask me to do things during the Michigan game, or during the Detroit Lions, or the New York Jets. Just don't ask. Because then if I say yes, now I'm in a bad spot, now it's an awkward situation, just don't ask. Just around those
NFL
things.
Sunday, sorry.
Just don't ask me around those, because now I'm the a-hole if I go. I go to the event, now I'm mad. Now I'm an a-hole because I'm mad that I went to the event.
It's like people who schedule a wedding when it's the Michigan-Ohio State game, or Michigan-Michigan
Oh, I know
State
about
game,
that. My friend Simeon scheduled his wedding on Michigan-Florida. Was in 2017. My God,
that was the one game in Dallas.
It was a game in Dallas. And I was at the pulpit.
Perfect example. Last night, my wife is on Ticketmaster, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm gonna buy some Cirque du Holidays or whatever the one is at the Fox." And I said, "What's the date? What's the date on that?" Said December 3rd. I said, "Oh, what time?" It's a 1 o'clock showing. I said, "Lions and Saints ain't happening."
Ain't happening. Attaboy.
There you go. That's right.
That's it.
You got to take control sometimes, right?
It's over.
Like, listen, I will not do anything on the Sundays of Lions game.
Yeah.
Not only because it's something that you wait all year for. This is one of those years that you really want in on this, and this is one of those years where every play, every game matters. It's a week worth of material for us. You know what I mean, to sit here and talk about one game all week. So I told her, no, I have to watch the game, and that's exactly, Braylon Edwards, what we did yesterday. What we saw on the field yesterday was, I tweeted this out or posted this, however you want to say it, Braylon. I've never watched the Detroit Lions in my lifetime the way I currently watch the Detroit Lions. Not in 11, not in 14, not in 16. In 1991, I didn't know what I was really watching as a 13-year-old kid. Not in 95 or 97 or 99. I've never watched the Detroit Lions the way I watch them now, where I expect them to get the third down. I expect them to stop the team on 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. I expect them to win the game. No Amon-Ra St. Brown, no Brian Branch, no Jahmyr Gibbs, Braylon Edwards, no problem. They did what good teams do.
Yeah, they definitely did what good teams do. And I'm not complaining on my rant because I did get a chance to spend some time with family Saturday and family on Sunday. But come on, not anymore. But you know why you feel that way, Ryan? Mine is exactly what you said. Typically in Detroit Lions history, whether it was Barry Sanders, whether it was Matt Stafford and Calvin, the 2014 team, you're hoping the Lions are going to win. You think the Lions are probably going to win, but you just don't know. You still got to wait to see if the Lions are not going to lose the game in the clutches of at the end of the game like they have done. Now they're not doing that anymore. Now you don't have to worry about that anymore because they're built from the bottom up the right way. You trust the coach a little more. You trust the quarterback. You trust the defense. They're going to get to that quarterback. They're going to stop the run. You see what their defense has done to rushing yards per year in terms of per game, what they're allowing the other NFL teams to rush against them. You trust this team. You know what this team is going to do because they've shown you. Look at their record in the last, 5 primetime games, the last 4, they're undefeated. Look at their record on the road. They've only lost 1 in the last 9 games on the road. They're showing you at every turn. They go to their rivals. They bust up their rivals. They're showing you at every turn the things that you're supposed to do when you're going to be a team like that, when you're dominant and people talk about you. They're doing those things in spades.
This is a team they pulled the same thing that the Panthers did to them, they did to the Panthers, and they did it in style. I mean, last year, what did they have? 350 yards rushing.
320,
This year, under 100. Barely, but another game, under 100. And the trick play, right after you get the interception or a fumble, I forgot what the turnover was, and to go down and just score on one play. How about 3 plays? And Jamison Williams running down with David Montgomery, passing Carolina Panthers as he's getting to the end zone. Everything was beautiful yesterday except a couple more injuries. I've never seen a team get hit with so many injuries. My heart breaks for Emmanuel Mosley. I didn't like the way Hutch got hit on that tackle. He'll be okay. But those are the only things that worry me. Now the depth has been great, but it's going to run out eventually, man. They got to get a break on these injuries, for God's sake.
You got to catch a break on the injuries with Mavs. It's a part of the game. You can't control it.
It's unreal.
It is. It's unreal, and it happens to the Lions. You know, this kind of reminds me of the end of 2021, remember. But focusing on just in the game and watching it, you brought up the Jamison running down the field with David Montgomery. That was a special play for me. You watch Jamison. Jamison's a guy, he said, you want him to do the right things. You want him to be in the right spots. One of the great things about a team like this is everybody's helping everybody. So for Jamison to fit in, it's about being trusted. When you see Jamison Williams, who's known as a pass receiving speedster that gets down the field, when you see him block that safety, knock that safety on his ass, and then catches up with David Montgomery as he's running in for a touchdown, that's showing you that he wants to be a part of the team. That's showing you that he's waiting his turn. That's showing you that he took everything that people said to heart in the offseason, that he really took his time making sure that when he came right, he was the guy that could be trusted, that was drafted 2 years ago, 12th overall. I thought it was a damn good play in terms of where he is now versus where he was a couple months ago.
Amen. We'll talk about J-Mo because, they still got a lot of stuff to talk about with him. But who came up with that trick play first? Ben Johnson or Kyle Shanahan?
How about Sharon Moore?
Yeah, Sharon.
Oh, Sharon Moore.
Michigan did that against Rutgers.
How about that?
Michigan did that exact same play against
Rutgers. I know,
Rutgers.
but on the same day.
I understand.
That's unbelievable.
Copycat league.
So I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I heard on NFL radio that Kyle Shanahan was watching the Lions game and saw it and instantly, because they too practiced it and said that they were going to run that night because he loved it.
Son of a gun, man. That was beautiful. And the video, whoever put that video out of the split screen of the two plays.
The NFL did.
The two plays running simultaneously is beautiful.
I will just say this. I know we're talking about the Lions, but you brought up that San Fran. What does that say to the genius of Kyle Shanahan and being able to implement that play that fast and have it work to the same exact tune like the Lions did on the same day? It's hard to put a play in. For him to see that play put in on TV, talks to the genius of Kyle Shanahan. We'll talk about them later.
No doubt about it. I do want to make mention, I don't want to gloss over the fact, Matt, you mentioned Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah, it sucks.
Emmanuel Mosley confirmed right ACL tear today. His left knee, he tore his ACL last year. That's what he was working so hard for, to come back from that left knee ACL. His first game back, Bray, confirmed today. Right ACL tear for Emmanuel Mosley, out for the year.
What happens a lot of times is, and this happened to, just during the process, when you rehab an injury, Maz and Ryan, whatever you injure, so let's say you injure your left ACL, or let's just say your left leg. You're going to rehab that left leg because you're going to rehab because it's injured. And now what you do is you focus so much on the leg that you're rehabbing, that rehab leg becomes your stronger leg, becomes your dominant leg. You don't put as much focus and effort into the leg that you hurt because you think, this leg's fine. This leg isn't the one. And then you start to overcompensate, and the body starts to overcompensate because now your leg that was injured is stronger than yours that wasn't injured. You see this a lot with injuries. Guys will come back and either tear the meniscus in the opposite leg, or they'll tear their ACL in the opposite leg because the other one's now much stronger.
It's that damn field turf. And I know it's new. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take. I mean,
and they can't put grass in there. It's a dome. I get it.
You could some way, somehow. There's a way to do it. It just costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
As far as the Aiden Hutchinson that you mentioned, I don't know what that was, but it looked like some sort of deep thigh bruise. We'll get an update
Could have
later
been a freaking
today.
knee.
It absolutely could have, but we'll see. He did come back. He did play. Just some of the injuries we'll get an update on at some point before our show is over here today, Braylon. But again, just back to this Lions football team. They did exactly what we thought they could do. In years past, they can't withstand one of these guys being out, let alone three just in this game. But on top of the ones that they've lost already with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and the likes of players like that. But it's if you're not on board at this point, what will it take? What does it take for you to be a believer in the Detroit Lions? Because I think if you watch around the league, and we'll talk about it, San Francisco just looks like next level right now.
They are.
But I think the Lions are in that next group of 4 or 5 teams.
They definitely are.
That really could do some serious damage here in the league. Their schedule is very favorable. I know you just go week to week in the injuries, but this schedule is a very favorable one, and I think they are in a position not only to win the division. I mean, that would be a devastation at this point if they didn't do that, but I think they can compete for a number 1 seed despite how good Philadelphia is and despite certainly how good San Francisco is. This schedule is set up beautifully for them.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Ryan. The schedule is set up better. And look, it's about the more you know. It's the more information you know. Going into the season, before the season started, we saw Lamar get paid. We saw Lamar get some guys. We saw Lamar get some weapons. We looked at that and we said that could be a potential loss for the Detroit Lions. As they're scaling along right now, I'm looking at how they just punished the Panthers. After punishing the Green Bay Packers, they're going to punish the Buccaneers, we assume right now, just looking forward. That Baltimore team don't look that good. And, Maz, you hit the nail on the head, and I apologize for saying they look better than they did. Lamar Jackson doesn't look newer under this Todd Monken system. The Chargers don't look like some world beater all of a sudden. This defense is figured out as they're losing players, and the offense is pretty good. Who said they can't be?
They can beat anybody.
Who said they can't go on that run? And now that game at the end of the year, second to end of the year, we know they're going to beat the hell out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Listen, man, they just need they need a break from these injuries. I mean, this team has been punished with injuries, especially the secondary, man. You lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now you lose Mosley. Jacobs is in and out. Kirby Joseph was in and out. Thank God for the Tracy Walkers of the world. And Jerry Jacobs, he gets torched in Seattle games. Since then, he's been one of the better guys in that secondary. Great comeback for that kid. That kid is he's got it.
And it's an opportunity for Chase Lucas, too, man. A 7th-round pick from a year ago. He wants to be in the spotlight, and he might get his opportunity now.
Last thing, Maz, you're absolutely right about the field turf, but the only problem is the rubber underneath gets replaced every year.
It's brand new.
2 years. I understand that, but guess what's not brand new is that turf. The turf itself isn't brand new. It's the rubber underneath it. That turf's old. That turf's been there since 2002.
Guys, we will take a break. When we come back, you will hear from Dan Campbell in the locker room. You'll hear from Aiden Hutchinson talking about David Montgomery. We're talking about Jamison Williams. We're talking about the trick play, Baldy weighs in, all that and more. Lions. But first, a message from Mark White.
All right, Mark White. When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8245. 42. MarkWhiteSells.com, where flexibility meets success.
You need a car to put in that driveway. So, Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find out the location nearest you. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experiment, and it's called the Feldman Advantage. Time to take advantage.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Time to talk about Dispo. Last week, we were there. Maz and I had a good time. Thank you, T-Foss, for pulling up, showing up. It's a cannabis mall. 21 and up, you have to be recreational only, but they have the best brands and the best ways to consume your cannabis. If you go to the one at Dispo in Romeo, they're open till midnight, so you can go all the way till 12 at night. But, it's the Michigan's cannabis largest mall. Check it out. Dispo, best way to consume your cannabis.
That's a hell of a win! You know what I love? I love when you guys indirectly tell your coach, relax, we got it. We got it, all right? That's exactly what you guys did out there. You know what good teams do? They don't give a shit who they play. They don't care about the environment, who's playing for them, who's playing for us, what the records are. When you smell competition, you show up. And you guys just proved it again today. You did what you're supposed to do. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. That's what good teams do. Guys, that's 4. You just keep your attitude just like it is right now. And we'll go wherever we want to go, I promise you. I've seen too much of it. I've seen way too much ball as a player and a coach. Trust me, we'll be all right. We'll be just fine. All right, we got the right dudes in this room. We got the right dudes and the right coaches. All right, I got one game ball. Where's my game ball at? And we'll get into this in a couple of days, okay? But this guy, hunger's start, man. He's been here for years.
This means a lot to me. This organization, when they brought me in, it was to be a winner, man. And now we're doing that, and it feels so good. I feel the best I've ever felt in my career, regardless of all the ball I played, because, man, it just feels so good to be a part of something special. So I appreciate all you guys. Lions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lions!
Is that something or what? What a scene in the locker room post yesterday. The Lions whip up on the Carolina Panthers 42-24. And what a great moment after the game in that locker room. You saw Dan Campbell give the game ball to Taylor Decker, just the 4th tackle in franchise history to start 100 games for the Detroit Lions. Braylon Edwards, what an awesome, awesome scene.
What an awesome scene it was. And, I take it back to 2021 before the season started. Taylor Decker, he was saying, look, it doesn't matter what he's asking us to do. We haven't had success any other way. We haven't won doing it these other guys' way. We haven't won it doing the way we've done it before. So I'm willing to do anything it takes that Dan Campbell will tell me so we can start winning some games. And now they're starting to win some games. And now they're not only winning, Ryan, they're dominating some games. Here's some quotes just from what Dan Campbell said. I've never heard a soundbite like this from the Detroit Lions or Dan Campbell, hell, any other coach. He said, you told me we got it and I listened. He's talking about his players. His players like, yo, hey, coach, relax.
Chill.
We got this. When you're a head coach and you can trust in your team like that, it saves you so many headaches and it allows you to be even more efficient. Another thing he said, you guys did what you're supposed to do. That's what, Ryan, you talked about for the last 5 days. Going out there and doing what you're supposed to do. He said, we got some dudes in this room. You know what that does? When you're getting guys that are getting injured, the Lions have been bitten by the injury bug, but you got guys that come in and you keep it moving, you keep it moving. Next man up, because you believe in the energy of this team. You believe in what you're doing. You believe in your leader in Jared Goff. You believe in your defense and what they're doing on the other side. They believe in each other from the coaches to the players, and you're saying wonderful things. That was a great soundbite by Dan Campbell. You got 4 quotes out of that.
That's my guy, man. I'm so happy he's the head coach of our Detroit Lions.
I was thinking about that. I'm glad you did, because I was thinking about that. I mean, now you're starting to see Dan Campbell get a ton of love nationally. And this is the same guy. And you know, we don't have to go back to the kneecaps thing, but we can go back to the kneecaps thing.
He was nervous.
This guy was universally, I think a lot of people here locally loved it. Because they've seen just about everything else. They've seen every introductory coaches press conference that you could possibly see. But nationally, I thought he was just ripped for it.
Yeah. What a Joy Taylor on Colin Cowherd.
This guy,
I'll never forget her.
A total joke.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like a joke anymore. In fact, he seems to be the perfect coach for the perfect team at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, I said this a while back, and I really believe it more today than ever before. This team, maybe not this year, and maybe not even next year, but this team will win a Super Bowl with Dan Campbell as head coach.
Doesn't it seem like in 2023 you can be more of yourself as a head coach and your team can actually really take on your identity? I feel like back in the day you really were trying to be like the coaches that had success before. I mean, I'm going to get back to Dan Campbell. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to stay with the Detroit Lions. But doesn't seem Mike McDaniel is allowed to be himself, and his personality is the Miami Dolphins. Kyle Shanahan is himself, and his personality is the San Francisco 49ers. Sean McVay is himself. His personality is the Los Angeles Rams. And you can go around every team, and it's kind of like that. The ones that win, the ones that lose, it's their personality.
Bill Belichick.
Dan Campbell's personality is different because it is so vulnerable and honest and real and loving and gritty and villain and everything that they say and everything else. This team is starting to build in his image, and his image is Detroit.
You know, it's also, you talk about how this team is built, and you know, you mentioned Taylor Decker there. This team's identity is up front, strength up front, run the football, and what they've been doing running the football this year, I don't think you can bat an eye at. This team is as good as any Lions team we have ever seen running the football. And yes, I know this team had Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
But as a collective unit, this team running the football is doing things that they haven't done since 1962.
I was born that year.
Is that the year you were born?
Year.
They rushed for 3 touchdowns in consecutive games for the first time since 1997. They rushed for 3 touchdowns and threw 3 touchdowns for the first time since 1962, the year of the Maz.
And the Mets and the Astros. All born on 62.
There you go.
But that was beautiful, man. David Montgomery is doing something that Barry Sanders hasn't done. A touchdown in each game so far to start the season. 100 yards again. This guy runs with a purpose. He only touched the ball 19 times. My favorite thing that he did yesterday was when he was resting in the fourth quarter. And
Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds gets in, and he's starting to get winded. And he wants to come out and let David Montgomery score that touchdown. And Monty's like, you stay in.
Yep.
Stay in.
Yeah.
And he don't even get touched on that touchdown. The offensive line blew the Panthers out. And thank you to Penei Sewell and the rest of that team. Happy birthday to Penei, by the way. 23 freaking years old.
Happy birthday to the Oregon Duck and now Detroit Lion. Yeah, We watching there just. I remember I cracked that joke about the Green Bay game, how the line was the hole was so wide. He ran into the offensive lineman, had time to find himself and still scored and didn't get touched. They're running guys off the line. Whenever you can stop the run, but then run on teams, I'm telling you, it is a mentality thing. You talk about toughness. That's the mentality of the Detroit Lions, man. It is up front on both sides. It is toughness. We're going to run on you, but you're not going to run on us.
David Montgomery became the first Lions player in franchise history to rush for a touchdown in each of his first 4 games with the team. That's the first ever. Became the first Lion to rush for 100 yards and a touchdown in consecutive games. First time since 2004 when Kevin Jones did it. Here's his head coach talking about Monty.
Demo's been an excellent addition for us. I mean, he fits us. He fits us like a glove. His style of running and what he's able to do in screen game, pass game, but man, his running style.
Hey man, Demo, I got lucky enough to run into him on Friday night. I said this on the post game yesterday at Lakeview High School. Him and his family pull on up. Him, his wife, his brother, his baby. And got to hang out with him. And this guy signed every autograph, took every picture with every kid in that stadium. Grosse Pointe South got the best of Lakeview that day. But hats off to David Montgomery. He is a Detroiter. I spoke to his wife, and they loved Chicago. They're falling in love with Detroit.
It goes back to these guys' introductory press conferences, man. When they brought in Cam Sutton, when they brought in CJ GJ, when they brought in Emmanuel Mosley, and when they brought in David Montgomery, he said, I don't care where I'm at. I just want to play football. I like where this team is going. I like what they're doing up front. They're a physical team. Hey, I don't care if I'm passing out water. I'm going to be on this field. I'm going to be with the Detroit Lions. And that's what speaks to your touchdown, man. Where he's telling he's telling Craig to go back in. Craig, you go back in. He said, I don't care as long as we're winning. I just want to be out there on a winning team.
No doubt about it. And look, when this team decided to move on from Jamal Williams, I think we were all kind of shocked about that. And maybe shock isn't the right word, but there is no doubt they have upgraded at running back.
We all knew it was an upgrade.
Huge way.
But we liked Jamal, right? We liked him. He was one of us. He loved being a Detroit Lion. But you had to know you were getting an upgrade on a running back and getting David Montgomery. It's night and day.
And then you consider what he left in Chicago, and he is probably living the dream, David Montgomery.
It's nothing like leaving a losing situation, going to a winning situation, man. As you know about it. Cleveland, New York, so I know about it. But the thing about it is people forgot how much he received the ball and or how much he was used as a pass-receiving running back in Chicago. This is a guy that knows how to catch the ball in the backfield. I think you're starting to see now that he's been back in. Now he's healthy. Now he's really ready to go. Ben Johnson is really starting to open up the offense through him as well, because he caught a couple passes in the game as well.
Hey guys, looking for some high-level sports talk for your weekly nightcap? Welcome to Woodward Nights, featuring Booner and Broder, two of Detroit's newest and up-and-coming sports personalities. Weekdays from 8 to 10, Booner and Broder every single night to hear some of Detroit's hottest sports takes. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder, 8 to 10, here on WSN's YouTube channel.
During the watch party yesterday, we're all here, and Booner needs a half a tackle from Jerry Jacobs to hit his parlay. We're all waiting. And then it's the last couple plays that we all start the Jerry chant. Jerry. The son of a gun.
Was?
Yes.
I was wondering what the hell that was.
The son of a gun gets the half tackle for him, and he hits his parlay.
No kidding.
Booner. Hats off to you, man.
Awesome stuff, no doubt. All right, guys.
Call on him, man.
When we come back, we're going to talk about this dynamic offense, too. Ben Johnson's trick play. What about Jared Goff, his stellar play? Much more to get to, and we haven't even touched on the defense yet. Lots more to get to, but first, a message from Planet Fitness.
All right. Home of the judgment-free zone. $10 a month is all it takes. Your fitness is essential. Well, Planet Fitness is done every year. It's gotten better and better and cleaner and cleaner. And now their gyms are squeaky clean. Come in at any time. Your fitness is essential. And it is home of the judgment-free zone, so you can work out whenever you want to, however long you want to. Put your headphones on. Enjoy the ride. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey gang, when it comes to your pet, you do not want to settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 locations across Metro Detroit, over 60 brands of food, the lowest prices, and curbside delivery if you need it. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Check them out at premierpetsupply.com.
There's nothing better than when you tell your team just concerns and you talk about it and your team tells you, Coach, just freaking relax. All right, we got it. And they did that today. They came out, they set the tone for the game and really never let off the gas. And you talk about complimentary football. We've been talking about it was time for us to get a knockout, a strip, fumble that we got. We talked about our D-line coming up with one. Hutch got one. Come away with 3 takeaways and turn those into 21 points offensively. That's complimentary football. So just an outstanding job by those players who, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, they don't care who we play. It's competition, and they show up. And so they're not worried about the elements, who they have, who we have, what the records are, and I'm proud of the way we showed up.
There you go, Dan Campbell talking about, guys, I got it. We got it. Don't worry, Coach. No Amon-Ra St. Brown, no Brian Branch, no Jahmyr Gibbs, no problem, Bray. And there's guys that continue to step up, even within the game. Yeah. Emmanuel Mosley goes down. Here comes Jerry Jacobs. Zonovan Knight goes down. Here comes Craig Reynolds. I mean, even within the game, it's just one week after the next, these guys continue to surprise.
Yeah, 100%. The teams that win championships, the teams that last until late January, the teams that are floating around every year, those guys have depth. Those guys understand that it's a long season, and you get guys that can play within your system. Guys get injured around the league. Other teams that win, players get injured, but they still find ways to win. Last year, you saw that happen with the Cowboys. You saw it happen with the Eagles. And the Eagles still were there at the end, and that's what the Lions are doing now. They're making sure that their guys, the guys that they trust first, they're making sure they have legitimate guys behind them. They don't look at it as starters or backups. They got guys that can play in the system, and that's what you saw. Josh Reynolds has been a heaven sent for Jared Goff, in my estimation, since he got here. It seemed like Jared Goff started to get comfortable in Ben Johnson's system at the end of 2021 when Josh Reynolds was playing. Josh Reynolds, now that he doesn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, now that Jameson's trying to get implemented, he's making catch after catch after catch. I think he only has one catch this year that hasn't gone for a first down. He's the fourth receiver on this team, or third.
It was a touchdown.
Exactly. And it was a touchdown. He's the third receiver on this team. I think he has 5 touchdowns this year.
He does.
And then Khalif Raymond. You get Khalif Raymond going. He's a guy that every week has 50 or 60 or 40.
He almost had a touchdown.
Exactly, 45 yards. I think he got down to the 2-yard line. Craig Reynolds. This team is about step up and replace. But you know what I love about them, Ryan? It's the energy. Because if guys are operating like that when they step up, then that means Dan Campbell has it wrapped around their mind. It doesn't matter who's out. It's next guy step up mentality, and they're using that.
What did I tell you? Who would get in the game? I said Teddy Bridgewater's going to play in the fourth quarter.
You did.
He did get in for a series. But I'm just saying, man, you don't even realize when a guy goes out, it's because it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's business
That's
as
a good
usual.
Point, man.
Remember when Dan Campbell said it ain't 53 men, it's 69? It is a true 69-man roster, huh?
What a way to look at it.
That's the way it is. And you know what? We need a little bit more help because that depth is starting to get a little bit weak.
But now you got wiggle room with money too.
But again, you just look at
Denver's having a fire sale.
A couple of guys that you were just talking about, though. I mean, Josh Reynolds has been. They're not 4-1 without Josh.
He's my
Reynolds.
MVP
They are
so
not
far.
4-1. Well, Jared Goff's mine probably.
Okay. He's been terrific.
He has been great. But Josh Reynolds, they're not 4-1 without this guy. Clutch after clutch. I mean, another catch, that touchdown catch he had yesterday.
Yeah, good feed back in
down. Oh,
yeah. First thing he did.
That's not a routine touchdown catch.
No, it's not. It's not. In fact, it's not. Somebody else tried to catch one of those last night and couldn't make it happen. Like you gotta catch the ball first, but then drag your feet at the same time, and he's doing it. But at the same time, we can't keep tempting fate. It would be that it's good to have some money in the kitty because you may have to go after some players with keep getting injured.
Hey, yesterday during the post game, someone brought up, when do you extend Goff? Just want to throw that out there eventually. When do you extend Goff?
Not now.
There's plenty of time to even discuss that. Even this week, we could discuss that.
Yeah.
Look, this guy's been great. Not good, great. He's a top 8 quarterback right now.
He's feeling
it. And I don't even know if there's, honestly, I don't know if there's 7 guys playing better than him right now. You might take Joe Burrow. You will take Joe Burrow over Jared Goff. Joe Burrow's not playing better football than Jared Goff. Not right now. He's not. Lamar Jackson. You might take Lamar Jackson over Jared Goff. He's not playing better football than Jared Goff right now. There's not a ton of cats out there that are playing better than Jared Goff right now. You could talk Brock Purdy. You could talk Jalen Hurts. You can talk Josh Allen, Mahomes.
Well, Mahomes is on his own planet.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But there's not too many more guys than that.
He's playing with confidence. You can just see it. You can just see he's got it.
It's easy to play with confidence when your defense is playing like they are playing. I'm not minimizing what Jared Goff is doing. I'm kind of giving them some love on both sides. When your defense is playing like that, when they're getting guys to go 3 and out, where they're not letting teams run for over 70 yards on them, if you add Carolina Panthers in there. When you got guys, when you're able to push the defensive line around like that as the offensive line and just have gaping holes like that for David Montgomery to run through, when you have guys running as hard and as purposeful as David Montgomery, you're going to look good. And Jared Goff is just taking advantage. He's done, just like Dan Campbell said in that locker room, he's done what he's supposed to do behind this great team.
Doing what you're supposed to do is one thing, but playing the way he's playing is tremendous. And one of the parts about that is the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell talked about that trick play that he threw, and that's one of the things that I like. They emptied the chamber.
They did.
The offensive playbook, man. They were throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Carolina. I love that. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about that trick play.
It was AG did a great job game planning this week once again, and that was a heck of a call by him too. That was a bit of a bait call, baited him into something. It was the same look as what we've been given a couple of times before, and Jared did a great job of making it look exactly like it was, and then, that throw, he adjusted to the throw. It was great. It's a great call, and it's great by Jerry. I understand what we're trying to get done.
How about that from Dan Campbell?
He loves Ben Johnson.
I don't want to imagine the Lions without him, but it is one of those things to project what happens.
It's happening.
I think this is year 1, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is year 1 of a good 5 to 6 year stretch where this team is going to be competing for Super Bowls. And it's a coaching staff, it's a culture, it's a depth thing, it's a playmaker thing. And we haven't even really touched on Jameson Williams.
Not yet.
We scratched the surface on him. But
we don't know what he's got yet.
But nonetheless, this thing is... here or just even straight up.
Can you guys imagine at the end of this year, no matter where they finish, if they don't win the Super Bowl, let's say they come a little short, can you imagine them? It depends on the jobs that open up, but do you think maybe Ben Johnson sees this through to the Super Bowl? They pay him, they make him an assistant head coach, whatever it takes. You don't know. He might just stick around until they take this thing off the sheet. He might.
Well, money talks too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll pay him.
if you're getting $10 million a year to be a head coach or $8 million a year to be a head coach, you're not taking $2 million to be a coordinator somewhere. It's just not fiscally responsible thing to do, even if it's a.
I'm just saying, when
job.
you're with a good situation, you want to see this team. Don't you want to see him?
I think that's what he did this year.
Yeah.
I think that's what he did.
Well, I
this
can have
year.
hope.
Yeah, you can.
I just haven't seen a situation in a very long time where you got the general manager, you have the head coach, you have the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, and they all seem to be in sync. Like, they all seem to be a team. A lot of times it's like the offense is one thing, the defense is one thing, the head coach and GM, they're one thing, they're split, they're different. These guys are all on the same page, and they all have bought into the guys that they bought into this team, and they're playing absolutely well. Just think of it like this. The Lions are still getting better every week. They're operating kind of like Michigan in a sense, and I always sneak the Big Blue in there. But it seems like they're getting better each week. Each week, the victory feels better on both sides. Each week, the victory feels closer to a complete game. And oh, by the way, still haven't figured Jahmyr Gibbs out. Still haven't figured Jamison Williams out. Sam Laporta's still kind of getting easy in there. David Montgomery just finishing his second full game of the season, not to mention Amon-Ra St. Brown was nursing injury this past week. They haven't even put it all together, Ryan.
You know, offensively, too, you play with who you got. You know,
I'm thinking like they
oh,
just
God. I mean,
imagine that. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that they did yesterday, too, is for the second straight week, they scored 27 or more points in the first half alone. You want to talk about getting off to a fast start. You want to talk about setting a tone. Go score 27 points in the first half and see if that doesn't get you off on the right foot. That's the first time that this franchise has scored 27 or more points in back-to-back games in the first half. It's the first time in team history. They've never done that before.
Wow.
This team, this offense, is doing things that they've never done before. They've had Barry Sanders. They've had Matt Stafford. They've had Calvin Johnson. They're never done what they're doing now collectively. This thing is a train. And mind you, can you imagine them doing that without Amon-Ra St. Brown and without Jahmyr Gibbs? You would have told me I was nuts.
Both of us said, what player can't they win without?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And I said Jahmyr Gibbs.
They won without
That's
both
what
of
we
them.
said, and they won without him.
And I said Amon-Ra.
I know.
And they won without both.
Yeah, and look,
At once.
Look, the Lions they're looking very, very good right now. They're looking good. Like I said, they're getting better every week. But we also have to keep the focus. They're playing the teams that are really bad too. Like the Green Bay Packers are not a good team. And then the Carolina Panthers are not a good team. So we have to keep it into a realistic scale. They are definitely doing this exactly as Ryan said. But we also got to look at the competition they're playing. They're beating the teams in front of them, and I'm not dumbing it down, but I'm also not letting us they about to win the Super Bowl. Let's pipe down.
What was their last playoff win?
1991. I'm not.
They're 4-1 for the first time since '91.
Well, they were 5-0 in 2011.
Well, I'm just saying they're 4-1.
Right. They were 5-0 in 2011, but this is their best start since 2011.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I will disagree with you about that, Bray. I'm not saying they're going to go win the Super Bowl this year,
right.
but as bad as this franchise has been over 60 years, I don't care who they're playing. They're playing the next team on the schedule.
I agree, but I agree.
I'm not letting anybody rain on this parade.
I agree, and I'm not raining on the parade. I'm being honest. Like I'm saying, I'm the one that said it was going to be 13-4, along with you.
Right.
I'm just simply saying I want to keep in perspective. Teams haven't been that good too, though.
And they got to hit the road now, first time for back-to-back weeks.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
You know, we'll find out what they do. I do want to talk about Jamison Williams, his performance yesterday, what you made of that. Also, we'll get into the Lions defense as well, continuing to roll. But first, a message from Woodward in Maine. How about that? The Woodward Sports Lions pregame show return. Oh, no, this is the Lions Insider Show. That's right. For all the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions, it's Woodward in Maine, featuring Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Episodes twice a week, Sundays 8 to 9, Tuesdays 7 to 8. So check in with them tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. The most in-depth reporting and breakdown of the game, the players, and all things Detroit Lions. Just go to the YouTube page, type in Woodward Sports, and maybe if you want to go watch a little Monday Night Football tonight, go to the Hamlin Pub.
Absolutely. If you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular, that's right, you got to be there. We got the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations. Experience where everyone's a regular. Hey, Norm. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday or game day specials during all Michigan sports and NFL games, that means tonight, Monday Night Football, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, gang, how'd you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? You know you do. Make your friends and take them to the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. Buy Cintron at your local Myers store, of course. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Hey, gang, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. If you are watching the show live on YouTube, even if you're not, hit that like button for us. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Subscribe to the show as we trend towards 55,000 subscribers on this platform. Guys, we mentioned the injuries, and obviously without Amon Ra, without Jahmyr Gibbs, the team was pretty excited. We were all pretty excited about Jameson Williams making his debut this season. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about that young man's performance.
For me, I came into this game, I think I said this is his first one back, and really last week was his first practice since he was out of the building. And so, man, I just wanted to get him back on the grass, get him lined up, get him some runs. We gave him a couple of opportunities in the past game, and now we just grow from there. So this is all I expected. Let's get him acclimated back in, and he'll get a few more plays next week, and we'll just continue to let him grow.
Look, I think that's a pretty good take by Dan Campbell, and every day it's going to be a little bit more. Every game it'll be a little bit more. He'll earn more playing time. This is all you need to know about Jameson Williams. From what I took away from this game, he might not have blown up the stat sheet. He might not have gotten that 80-yard touchdown down the middle of the field or on a go route. But on 3 of the Lions' touchdowns, you saw that man blocking down the field and making a huge difference on those touchdown plays. And for a guy, this is not a one-man team. For a guy to come in and just fit in and do his job, I think it was Jameson Williams more than acquitted himself well yesterday on the field, and it will come. The drop, maybe some people will focus on that. Maybe you won't. He was about to get blown up, and that's one where he heard the footsteps.
Yeah.
And he'll catch that maybe in the future. That was his first one, but he's never had really elite hands, so you're going to take the drops with the speed and with the breakout moments. So I thought he did really, really well. And in fact, again, what a wide receiver does down the field, blocking, every bit as important. And on 3 of the touchdowns, I think Jameson played really, really well.
Yeah, he definitely played good team football. He knew where he was at, where he was supposed to be. He knew the play assignments. He blocked downfield. You saw him have energy with David Montgomery getting into the end zone. So he's definitely a team guy that's bought into the system. That's good to see. He had to drop. Look, people are going to drop passes. You drafted knowing he was going to have drops, because for every drop he has, eventually he's going to have you expect to have some of those 40, 50, 60-yard plays down the field. With that being said, I don't want to wait too long to get him implemented. Like, I think they have a good head start in terms of you had this week week against the Panthers. You had a couple receivers that were banged up a little bit, some time to get in there. Next week against the Buccaneers. I understand they are playing a lot better, but it's still a team that we believe on offense. We match up well against their defense. I want to get him going, man. Like, I'm not saying he has to have a game like Jamar Chase, who we'll talk about. I don't need him 15 forced passes, but I want to see him look better because you can't forget he is a number 12 overall pick at the wideout position. So I want to see him get some passes so we can see what we can do. So he gets more confident and he has more comfortability. When you do try to throw him that pass on 3rd and 7 in Baltimore, he has confidence that he can catch it. He has confidence because you give him a couple bones here and there. So want to see him more plays because this isn't some dynamic second rounder we're talking about. This isn't some dynamic 4-1 third rounder we're talking about. This is still a guy that was drafted 12 overall, so I want to see some more plays.
Hey, just him being in the game took attention away from the other guys.
It did.
And it frees up Laporta on those 2 plays, on those 2 touchdowns. It frees up Josh Reynolds to do what he has to do. It frees up your running back out of the backfield because you got to put someone on that guy.
Yeah, you do.
Just him being there in that lineup means big time. Wait till Amon-Ra St. Brown gets on the field with them. That's what I want to know. But what really shook me up over the weekend, Saturday, I see that, what the hell happened to Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, what did I miss in practice? Because he was good all week. And then all of a sudden, he ain't playing. Hamstring now. So, I don't know, man. It's just this injury bug is unbelievable.
It happens to every team, though, and you just got to deal with it, Maz. I mean, you gotta just move on, and you got to be thankful that the Lions are in a position where these guys who are going out, knock on wood, aren't going out. Emmanuel Mosley notwithstanding, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I guess we'll find out about him in the next couple of weeks, but. These guys, knock on wood, again, when they go out, they're down for a little while. Like Matt Broder saying today that they expect Josh Paschal to come back relatively soon. Maybe Pascal's the guy that they can get back on that defensive front. So when guys go down, they do come back. And it's not anything that any other team isn't dealing with.
Yeah, this is true, and that's the good thing about it. When you put good guys on your team in that backup role, in the depth chart role, when you really, like you say, you focus on the whole and not one position. When guys get injured, Ryan, other guys are coming back. Like, that's the good thing about it. Guys are getting injured, but other guys aren't coming back. And none of it has been, with the exception of CJ GJ, none of it has been terribly long. It's been nicks and bruises. Man, as everybody gets injured. I mean, it
seems like an avalanche.
It does, especially if you pile on the end of 2021. Or what was it, the Denver game? There were like 21 people on the injuries or the list or
that
whatever.
That Seattle game set me back.
100%. But you got to deal with it. I mean, look at Kansas City Chiefs last year. They won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was hurt. Couldn't even play. What if Chad Henne, a backup, shout out to the University of Michigan, what if Chad wasn't able to go? The Kansas City Chiefs would have said, well, we didn't make the Super Bowl because Patrick got hurt. And what would everybody else say? The injuries are a part of the game. So you just got to have people that are ready to go when those guys go down.
Yeah, and we'll see. Hopefully St. Brown can come back, and hopefully Gibbs can come back shortly. And they're going to need him this week. We'll find out. Tampa Bay.
Do you want him to come back?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. I do.
Not too soon.
My apologies. Yeah.
Well, look, Tampa Bay is playing a lot better than I think people expect. And Maz,
wearing the creamsicles.
Absolutely. Kudos to you, and I want to congratulate you on your Baker Mayfield take. He's playing pretty darn good football.
Not so bad.
And so is Mike Evans, and shout out to Todd Bowles, who none of us gave any respect to whatsoever as a head coach in this league, and he's got those guys playing hard.
He's happy.
There's plenty of time to talk about that, but we'll see defensively for this team. Again, 99 yards rushing yesterday, so still not
quite
a 100-yard rusher, but the Detroit Lions have allowed 342 yards rushing through the first 5 games of the season. That's the fewest yards allowed through 5 games in the team's history since at least 1932.
Woo.
What more can you say about this team trying to make teams be one-dimensional?
Right.
Stop the run, try to beat us with the pass, and can't do that either.
You absolutely can, and it gets to a point where you got to stop talking about who a team is playing against. You got to talk about what history says. History's telling you it's the first time it's ever been done. This team ain't no spring chicken. The Detroit Lions aren't a young franchise. They're an old franchise. So the fact that it's the first time ever, it says something. They're beating guys up at the line of scrimmage. They're beating you up. They're not allowing you to run the ball. Now they know you can't run the ball. Now nothing tricks them. There's no play action. There's no play action to get guys out of space. There's no trick plays with them. Now they know you got to pass the ball. Now they can stop you. Now they can cover you as well. And now because guys, Aiden Hutchinson, Lee Manil, Isaiah Buck, because they're getting to the quarterback. Now the quarterback's trying to get the ball out, and he's throwing interceptions. So it's fun to watch their defense play right now. And also it's fun to watch how the defense complements the offense and what they're doing. They're running the ball. Notice they're taking a lot of time off these clocks. And guys and teams are panicking towards the second half, the end of the second half. Right?
Aiden Hutchinson, 3 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 1 pass defense. Batted 1 away. Guy's been great. And when he stuck that paw out and just snatched that ball out of the air, that was a J.J. Watt type play. Remember when J.J. Watt did that on Thanksgiving Day for the Texans against the Lions? This guy is playing damn good football, man.
Maz, you'll appreciate this. I throw this to you, man. As soon as I saw the interception, Ryan and Maz, you know what I thought about? I thought about Fred Biletnikoff and Stickum.
Oh, man.
He had the tape on. He had no gloves and caught it. Guys aren't catching passes like that with no gloves anymore.
Good.
Stuck the paw.
Lester Hayes.
They outlawed it because of him. But there was no stickum on his glove because he didn't have any gloves.
I'll tell you, man, he's getting held on that play, getting blocked, trying to get to the quarterback, and he just puts his hand out. Bryce Young thought he could sneak one in there, and it wasn't going to happen, man. And he's playing out of his mind. He's playing great.
Quick thought. What'd you think about Bryce Young? Because, I mean, here's a guy that went number 1 overall. Quick thought, Bryce Young, what'd you think?
Man, I don't think it's a sure thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's a sure thing.
So nothing about the offensive line or the talent around.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is his first year.
Okay.
This is his first year. I mean, they even showed the graphic of some other rookie quarterbacks and what Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning.
They got their ass kicked.
Yeah, they got their butts kicked. Yeah. I mean,
what do you think, man? You like?
I like him. I think he's got poise.
Yeah, I do. I
don't think he's bothered. I mean, he's on the sideline. Yeah. Nothing's bothering him. I love the kid. I want to see him. I want to see him succeed. He really doesn't have much right now. He's got no.
But here's the problem.
He don't have much.
Here's the problem for guys like Bryce Young. We all know what the problems are. Offensive line and playmakers.
Yeah.
Do you trust that organization or any organization to get it right? You know, this is why guys fail in this league.
Right.
This is why guys are busts in this league. And please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Bryce Young is a bust.
Right.
But he is 1-1, first overall. Yeah. And if he doesn't win a division championship or something like that, I mean, chances are you get thrown that label. And are the Carolina Panthers gonna draft? Are they gonna be Lions-like?
Yeah.
No, the Panthers have been a good organization. They have been a good organization.
Well,
they're starting
Cam
new.
Newton. I'm just saying.
They're starting new.
Hey, let's see it though. I mean,
I think the kid's got it.
DJ Chark said in the locker room, and he'd like to see Carolina in 3 years where the Lions were in 3 years.
Yeah.
This is their 3-13-1 year with Dan Campbell.
Yep.
And let's see where they go from here.
Biggest problem with quarterbacks like Bryce Young, Justin Fields, insert quarterback here. Biggest problem is now all the teams are trying to operate on what? That rookie quarterback contract.
Yeah.
So if you can't have it in 3 years, teams will do what they did with Trey Lance. They're moving off of you. You got 3 years to show a team that you have it, and they're going to move off you. And once you get moved off once, it gets tough in this NFL.
He's got a quarterback as his head coach.
Yeah,
Frank Reich,
and he did a good job.
He's not a slouch.
No, he's not at all. They got a lot of good people on that staff. I just not every organization does right by their quarterback. I don't think that's
I get it.
Objectionable to say.
Just remember, they've been to a Super Bowl. We haven't.
I understand. I'm not saying. I just don't think it's a guarantee.
Should have won both.
Should have won.
Well, one of them. The other one, they got creased.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back,
Jake Delhomme.
Maz is going to continue to talk about the 2 Super Bowl losses by the Carolina Panthers. But
should have won. Should have beaten the Patriots.
Glorious.
That's all good. Just in time for football season. Glorious. There it is. Honolulu Blue, celebrate that. What is we now? It's 3 wins in a row. Celebrate them.
4 out of 5.
There we go. Fortified. That's all that really matters. Yo, this is a smooth product. Honolulu Blue. It's sold whatever dispensaries you want to go to. Make sure you go to Dispo Glorious Canada, CANNA.com. Flower smells good. This tastes good as well. Honolulu Blue from Glorious Canada.
Glorious. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. I passed Outdoor Equipment Company on my way to Blake's, and I said,
there you go.
Yeah, and I said your power equipment playground,
where you can be a kid forever.
Yeah, that's right. The official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned. Bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, Snow X plows, and salters. Outdoor Equip Co. has it all. Buy it, rent it. 0% financing delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Shout out to T-Boss, Terry Foster. He joined us on Friday, and when he read the weed whipper part, he did the same thing. I was like, "What the hell is a weed whipper? Is it no longer a weed whacker? Did they have to change the name because of what the name was?"
Right. Oh my gosh.
Whipper.
Incredible. Guys, having a lot of fun here on a Monday. Victory Monday for the Detroit Lions. 4-1 record. The best start in 5 games since 2011 when they were 5-0. I believe that year, I'd have to go back and look.
They didn't.
I think they lost 6 games in a row after that.
They did.
That ain't happening with this
team. They lost
the
last 8, or I think they lost the last 8 or 9 or something.
Oh my God! While we're here, it's just gonna kill me. I just gotta look. I think memory serves correct.
And you gotta tell me who they beat to lead this to start off.
They won at Tampa. Beat Kansas City. 48-3, by the way.
Those teams sound familiar.
At Minnesota, at Dallas. So 3 of the first 4 were on the road. Then they beat Chicago.
It's the same schedule.
And then they lost to San Francisco, Atlanta. They beat Denver, so they were 6-2. And then they were, they didn't. They did okay. So they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their next 7 games.
All right.
Yeah, all right. No, it's fine. They won't do that.
That ain't
year.
this team.
No, that ain't this team, Maz. That ain't this team. Speaking of teams, how about we're going to get to Michigan and Michigan, and of course Michigan State game time is out. We'll get to them coming up next, but I do want to go around the NFL, Tom Mazaway.
Let's do it. Start it off. I was up early yesterday watching that game from London, Tottenham Stadium. I got to tell you about that.
I thought about you the whole way.
Did you really? Because I gave you Jacksonville as the lock of the week. They beat Buffalo 25-20. Not a bad game. Not a bad game. Trevor Lawrence made the plays he had to. I was thinking of you, Ryan, when Trevor Lawrence was making those plays. You still don't like him?
Look, I'm sorry. He's fine. I would rather have Jared Goff than Trevor Lawrence. I really would. That's just me, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's just my
You're looking
opinion.
at Tottenham Stadium, by the way. This stadium is second to none. Second to none.
I would have to agree.
Do you know the grass, the pitch is underneath that field, being taken care of underneath that field?
Yeah, they're not letting NFL players on their precious soccer pitch.
No, they are not. That pitch has been taken care of. But look at this stadium. It is just a work of art. And this is what Jacksonville wants to do. But they want half of the pay to come from the taxpayers. And Shad Khan said, hey, if we don't get half of the pay from Jacksonville, we're out of there. And Jacksonville will never get another team. So they're kind of holding them at ransom right now.
Well, I have no problem with that. There are no other teams in that area. Like, it is the Jacksonville, the Duval County. They have nothing in Duval County but the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want, and look, it costs. It costs to pay. You want that man to stay. You want him with all that he has, his technology, his advancements. You want him to stay. So if you got to pay the fine, hey, man.
All right, so Jacksonville got the job done. Buffalo will get on the New York Giants next Sunday night. Talk about a game that no one gives a damn about. Next Sunday night is that game. The Dolphins beat the Giants 31-16. Giants scored on defense only, of course. Dolphins, what can you say? Mike McDaniel's got it going, man. They have the most yards through 5 games in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, you look at, I guess 2 weeks ago where when they got their ass whooped, 70 points. I mean, well, they got 70 points. Then they come back and they get beat up by the Buffalo Bills. And it seems like Mike McDaniel made some adjustments. And Acton Shane, oh my God, him as a running back. That's been the biggest difference, I think, this year for the Miami Dolphins is the usage of the running back. The usage of the running backs. I mean, shoot, you got Raheem Mostert. You got the other guy, Acton Shane, or however you say his name. So, the usage of the running back has allowed Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to have success.
NFL is a weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird start.
It's a real
to this
algorithm.
League. Well, I mean, again, you mentioned Dolphins up, Dolphins down, Bills up, Bills down.
Yep.
I mean, the only team that's really been consistent, I would say,
Lions in Kansas City.
Well, is
Niners
San Francisco.
and Eagles.
Oh, San Francisco.
Eagles too.
And the Eagles too. The Eagles, the Eagles 5-0 is a weird 5-0 because I feel like they are ripe. I do, but they're 5-0, and I'm not going to take anything away from them.
I just want to see the Dolphins the rest of the year because the Dolphins always struggle with the Miami. Like the Dolphins and the Bills are always weird, and that's who they got popped by. So I'd be interested to see the Dolphins moving forward because the Bills I could kind of take that game off. If that makes sense, man.
All right, Steelers, they had to put up a front. They had to do it. Mike Tomlin said things are changing. There's another one we told you about. Steelers knock off the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. Kenny Pickett did play in this game. Hits George Pickens for the game winner with about a minute to go. 7 drop balls from the Baltimore Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson did not get any help.
No, he definitely didn't. And I listen. Let me start with Lamar Jackson before I put the blame where it ultimately deserved. You can't throw those interceptions in the red zone. Like, you can't throw it. It's supposed to be a back shoulder fade. He threw it inside, and that's what allowed the DB to pick the ball off. Odell was supposed to be an outside shoulder throw. You got to put it on outside. With that being said, can the man ever get some help? Like, Jesus Christ, those were 2 touchdowns dropped in the end zone, 1 dropped outside going into the end zone, 8 drops total. And the offense looks the exact same as it does with Todd Monken that it did with Greg Roman. It was supposed to look different. Looks the exact same.
So I was on X yesterday.
I love when people say that.
Let's call it Twitter.
Well, I'm trying to be accurate.
Okay.
All right. And this video was trending. It was, I think of this, it was a news story in Philadelphia. And, when something bad happens, they stick the microphone in the guy's face. Oh, how do you feel? Sorry about this. So something bad that happened in this guy's neighborhood. So the local news reporter is interviewing him.
Aguilar.
And then the guy says,
oh,
you just really got to, something about driving.
Oh, he's catching the babies.
Yeah. He was dropping the babies out the window, and he's catching the babies. And the guy's catching the babies, unlike Aguilar.
Oh, they dropped that in.
I remember
dropping passes.
Love those Eagle fans.
And Eagles fans are the worst.
And I was like, why is this trending all of a sudden now? Because Aguilar dropped a touchdown pass.
Jesus.
Talking about help the guy.
That's great.
This is the kind of stuff that gets coaches fired. This is the kind of stuff that gets quarterbacks benched.
Yeah.
They dropped 2 touchdown passes for them. So, I mean, I don't know. 3.
Yeah. 2 were in the end zone.
Unlike
One was
Aguilar, the guy's catching babies out the window. Unlike Aguilar.
I think the building was on fire. I think
that's awesome, man.
Can't catch nothing.
He struggled.
I gotta get you that clip, Parker.
He struggled there. Then he went
Find
to
it before the day's over.
Patriots. Now he's there.
Hey, the Bengals finally showed up. They beat the Cardinals 34-20. Hats off to
Jamar
Joe
Chase
Burrow.
showed up.
Played his best game of the year. Jamar Chase. I'm open.
That's who showed
I'm
up.
always open.
So that was my stud for the day was Jamar Chase. He had a clip last week. He said, I'm always effing open. And what did he do? He went out there and improved it to the 215 catches for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you're going to talk some stuff, you got to back it up. He told the media he was always open, and Ryan, damn it, looked like he was always open. Meanwhile, somebody else talked some stuff, and they did not back it up.
No, who's that?
Dak Prescott. But I was going to wait till we got there. It's Dak Prescott.
Hey, can I say this, though,
Yeah.
about, just looking at these scores yesterday?
It was a dud weekend.
It was a dud weekend, but the Lions had 27 points in the first half yesterday. 17 of 24 teams didn't even score 27 points for the game.
42 is the most scored.
This offense is rolling.
Hey, the Niners and Lions both with 42 on the week.
just
You want me to go to Dallas?
Yeah.
Or you want me to wait?
Let's go.
All right, we'll go to the night game. Dallas got their ass kicked, 42-20 by the 49ers. 3 touchdowns from Kittle, and Brock Purdy's still unbeaten. Brock Purdy is unbeaten in the regular season.
10-0.
And when you look at Brock Purdy, you keep looking at the roster. It's whenever they talk about Brock Purdy, they got to name everybody. It's Ayuk, it's Kittle, it's McCaffrey, it's Debo, it's the defense, it's Shanahan. Yeah, it's all those guys, but it's also Brock Purdy. 3 other quarterbacks have had those same stats. Those same people, and they haven't gotten it done. His QBR is second in the league, I believe. He just wins. He doesn't win to the tune. It's not like Justin Herbert where he's out there throwing for 400 yards, but who cares when you're winning like this? I told you the offense is advancing while Brock Purdy's in there. That doesn't mean that Kyle Shanahan is just this complete wizard like the Wizard of Oz. It means that Brock Purdy is allowing him to change his offense and become even better with that San Francisco system. So they are a machine, and to be honest, they look like the Monstars from Space Jam. Like, it just looks like them and everybody else.
What a beatdown.
No doubt
What
about
a
it. I
beatdown.
think Dallas is.
They're scared.
Yeah.
You can't put them in the top 10 anymore, or the top 7, top 8
Yeah,
anymore.
no, I don't think you can either.
You can't.
And Dak is
He's
just
bad.
okay.
He's bad.
He is just okay.
Yeah.
There's a stat that says when they're ahead, like his QBR is 103. When they're behind, his QBR is 59 or 61. He's just not a good. There's a reason why, and we always go back to it. He was drafted in the 4th round for a reason. And I know sometimes there are anomalies. They are anomalies. I understand that. But when you're drafted in the 4th round in this era, Ryan Ermanni, it's not an anomaly. Like, you know what you are. And now that he's had some lower extremity injuries, like Sable. George Sable broke down. He said he's having those lower extremity injuries. He's not the same guy. The offensive line, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, they're not there anymore. He's showing who he is. This is who he was.
Hey, can I just say this quickly about Lamar Jackson? Here's a different way to look at this, because so many people, like even we mentioned about the 2 pick, it cannot happen. Lamar Jackson with the turnovers, it cannot happen.
Situation.
But if the guys don't drop the touchdown passes, there were 5 drops, 2 in the end zone. I guarantee you Lamar Jackson does not throw those 2 interceptions because they probably don't throw
reaching.
then. He's reaching in that, so it's just a holistic way to look at somebody's performance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's why I only blame that one throw. I said because him as a MVP quarterback, him as a quarterback that has just gotten paid, him as a quarterback that's been in the league 8 years now, he's in the elite of the elite. That throw, he can't miss.
No doubt.
There's your Aguilar.
And I would still rather have Jared Goff than Lamar Jackson. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's Aguilar.
And was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
That guy's great.
It's Philly, man.
That guy is great.
Is there anybody better than
NFL
Philly
Live
fans?
should hire that guy. Hire that man.
Philly fans are ruthless. There's this guy I just stumbled
great.
upon last week, his podcast. Like, he's a super Phillies fan. Like, I listen to it just to see. I'm waiting for them to lose because I want to see how he goes off his own team.
Unbelievable.
You want more, or you want a break here?
I do need a break,
All
but
right.
I do want to tell you about Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. It returns for another season of Lions football. I had the pleasure of joining this guy, Jeff Iafrate, yesterday. Thanks, Braylon, for that. But you can join WSN host Jeff Iafrate with weekly special guests on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Whether you're sipping the Kool-Aid or kicking and screaming same old lines, I don't think you're doing that anymore. You will not want to miss the show. Live every Thursday at 6 p.m. No, I don't think that's correct. Every Sunday.
Every pregame.
Every Sunday at 9:30. That's right. Every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Join us all season long for the action-packed Lions pregame experience. Now, how about a message from Swiss? And that is me. We want to remind everybody about Swiss Insurance Group. That's right. Just go check out Swiss every day.
Swiss
Do you have
Miss.
football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this is going to be awesome. Fall is also like the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they could be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's hot chicken sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
The best place to party, practice, and play right now is 5 Iron Golf, located in the Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit. They got sim rentals, lessons, and they use Callaway clubs, by the way. I never mentioned that. They do have the Big Bird, the Callaway clubs, and the Mavericks irons if you know your golf.
Well, you said cowboy clubs.
No. Callaway, baby. Okay. The best irons in the game. Yo, you can get drinks, you can order food, you can have a good time. Thursday nights, we do the Woodward Sports Golf League. 5 to 7 is the time we come to get it in. It's starting to get cold outside. A little colder this week, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Won't be golfing outside much longer. You want to come inside, have a good time. Pause at 5 Iron Golf, downtown Detroit. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards, the second hour of the show. Tom Mazaway, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man.
Rocking and rolling.
It's a beautiful fall day. Fall on Friday night at about 8:30 at night. The wind changed.
It did.
It dropped temperature,
and
it is now. It's fall.
It's fall is the best season. It's not even close. I've always been a fall. I like to see the leaves turn colors. I love it when it's cool outside. I love a light breeze. It's nothing. I went up to Ann Arbor Sunday yesterday to see Jimmy V.
That's right,
his son.
Jimmy V and his boy.
Man, Braden Valou.
How did he do?
Braden Valou had an interception and 5 tackles when I left the game. I had to get home because Jade cooked, so I had to be there. But he did his thing.
Nice.
I don't believe they won.
It's all right.
But he had
shout out to the Valou family.
He had an interception, so it was very weird, like walking in the end zone. I actually gave a pregame speech in the locker room.
What did the pregame speech entail?
You want me to take you through the pregame speech? It was quick. It wasn't long. I basically went up there and I said, because they saw my picture and they were all excited and Braylon, blah, blah, blah. I said, when you see me, you think about what your parents told you, because I know you're too young to see me play, but you think about what your parents told you. You see the picture, you're number 1, and this, that, and the third. You know what I see in here? And I just started naming all the players that I played with. So, like, the kids were sitting in the lockers, and I see Adam Stinovich and Tony Pape, Lamar Woodley and Steve Breston and Jason Avant and David Underwood, and I just went down the list, Chad Henne, blah blah blah. I was like, you play for your team. Like, when you win, when the team wins, everybody wins. Same thing I always say.
Braylon Edwards, motivational speaker.
I'm telling you, baby. Get me signed up.
Not like Aguilar.
Get me on the tour.
Not like Aguilar.
I'm
not like Aguilar.
No, he did not. Tom Mazaway, you had one other thing you wanted to get to here. Is it the Cowboys?
I got more scores, bro.
Oh, you do.
You don't want me to do the scores?
Yeah, I do. Please.
Okay, thank you, buddy. All right.
Yeah, we'll do this, and then I want to get back to Michigan football, or get to Michigan football.
Okay, buddy. You want to just do it now?
No, I don't. I want you to give me the scores here.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's only my NFL segment.
That's what I want you to do.
All right. Vikings.
Just freaking do it.
I thought the Vikings were going to win this week. I really, truly did. My only loss, by the way, we had to go over our picks.
Oh!
My only loss. I was 6-1, by the way. 6-1, 5-2 for you, 4-3 for Braylon. We all had good weeks. Vikings blew this game. They could have won this game. I don't think Kevin O'Connell and my
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, one of my favorite quarterbacks. I don't think they're on the same page.
They don't like each other.
They're not on the same page. You know how many times they have delay a game or they have to call a timeout?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. They blew that game. Kansas City, finally, 27-20. Patrick Mahomes now has beaten every team in the NFL. I just don't understand the dynamic, Braylon, between Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell.
Well, what happened is Kirk Cousins is an older quarterback who many people don't think can get the job done in prime time, and his numbers prove it. Listen, he has a lot of stats, a lot of Pro Bowls, but his numbers prove it in prime time. Kevin O'Connell, he's a young offensive coordinator coming out of Los Angeles off a Super Bowl. He wants to do what all these coaches are doing. They want their young quarterback. They want a young stud. Kirk Cousins is not the guy he wants running the system, and I guarantee you there's some back and forth. Remember, before the season started, maybe back in June, started to be some maybe trade talks for Kirk Cousins. Will Kirk Cousins even make it through? Actually go back to when the season ends? Will Kirk Cousins even be a Minnesota Viking this upcoming year? Were they going to make a move in the draft? They keep him, much to people's chagrin. And so now you're seeing that friction back and forth. He definitely won't be here next season. They definitely will move on from him. And I think you're just seeing that friction of Kirk not appreciating how they've gone about it, and Kevin O'Connell not appreciating who Kirk Cousins is, and there's some friction. They probably don't even talk to me.
Justin Jefferson hamstring in the fourth quarter. Who knows what's going to happen with him?
I'll tell you that. Can I just say?
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to get through
the refs picked up that flag in the end zone on a pass interference.
Disgusting.
And then told the guy takes his helmet off on the field. And that should be a penalty.
Put your helmet
back on. And that wasn't flagged. The Kansas City Chiefs get more breaks than any other team in the National Football League. That alone was like, come on.
Remember the helmet in 2014? Yeah. I'll still never get over Des Bryant taking his helmet off and running on the field.
That's the machine play right now, man. They got the Taylor Swift. They got the Travis Kelce angle. They're America's team.
He got hurt.
They're in 19 billion commercials, like all that. Like it's part of the machine. Them losing isn't good for business.
Ankle injury, but he did come back and get a touchdown.
Made a hell of a catch,
Travis
too.
Kelce.
That catch that he made when he jumped over, pulled it, went down to the ground and still didn't release it, like that was a hell of a catch.
They are a much different team without Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
and again, it looked like, I don't want to diagnose it, but it looked like a high ankle sprain for him.
He came back, though.
He did come back in this game, but can he come back 3 days from now in a Thursday night game?
Ooh, Thursday night?
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Denver.
Ooh.
Division game.
Oh, God. Speaking of Denver.
Yeah.
They lost the Hackett Bowl. The Jets 31.
Who got the game ball in that one?
31-21 over the Broncos. And the game ball. Let's go to Robert Saleh, because Robert Saleh had a game ball to give out to one Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett, come on down.
Nathaniel
That's okay.
Hackett.
Anyway, he gave Nathaniel Hackett the game ball. The Jets played for him.
Yeah.
You know the scoop. Sean Payton called him out. Sean Payton made an ass of himself. Sean Payton is getting his rear end kicked up and down the field this year.
Listen, when you ask for, I think his deal is $12 million a year or $13 million as an NFL coach. You know, when you're asking for that type of money, you're also asking to be a GM. You're also asking to make moves in there with the different. He has too much control. Just in my estimation, just go in there and coach. Like, do what you did well with the Saints. Go in there and coach. He came in bumping his gums. He talked about the job Nathaniel Hackett did, how bad he was. He talked about Russell Wilson, how bad he was. Well, Russell Wilson's playing much better this year than he played last year, and Nathaniel Hackett seems to be coaching much better than he did last year. You, however, are not. At this point last year, the Denver Broncos were 3-2 or 3-2-1 or something like that. They're 1-4.
Russell Wilson with a late fumble, and Sean Payton got right on him. That ain't working. It's going to change any minute now. Falcons, they get a late field goal, beat the Texans 21-19. C.J. Stroud has still not thrown an interception. The Colts, they beat the Titans 23-16. Anthony Richardson, he's got something going on with his shoulder. He's going to be out at least a month. The guy just throws his body at every single play, and it's not working. Last week, Bill Belichick suffered his worst loss ever. This week, he suffered his worst home loss ever. The Saints shut them out 34-0. Mac Jones benched again in that game, and we got more on that coming up. The Rams gave it their best, but the Eagles beat them 23-14. And we told you, obviously, about the night game. San Francisco all over Dallas, 42-10.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, want to get into some college football. Michigan, to me, is the best team in the country. We'll talk to Braylon about that, his take on that. Also, the game time is out for Michigan and Michigan State. It is a night game, and I don't think you should go if you're a Michigan fan. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts.
Here we
you
go
need
again.
to take Guardian Alarm with you, to the stadium.
There you go.
Guardian Alarm, they're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
The number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey gang, I want you to join Bullseye, Woodward Sports and Long Drink, every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. This one is going to fill up quick. Monday Night Football on October 30th at the end of the month. Eastern Market, Shed 5, going to be a bash. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets online today, bullseyeeventgroup.com, bullseyeeventgroup.com, or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, I do want to transition to some Michigan football. The entire first hour of the show today was dedicated to the Detroit Lions. So if you are looking for a little Lions talk, you can rewind the show. And for 60 minutes, we talked about that Lions win over the Carolina Panthers in convincing fashion. I do want to transition to Michigan, though. What they are doing, Braylon Edwards, to me, is spectacular. 52-10 winners against Minnesota on the road, and I don't think there's a better team in the country right now than the Michigan Wolverines. And when you look at who they're playing, I think that's people's biggest gripe. Okay, so they had 4 cupcakes in the non-conference, but now they're in their conference. It's not like they can make Minnesota be better than that. Yeah. It's not like they can go knock on Nebraska's door and say, can you please be better? Indiana is coming this week. It's not like they can be like, oh, can you guys just get your stuff together because, you know, we'd like to play tougher opponents. They're in conference now, man. What are you going to do? I look around the country. I don't see anybody better than them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Michigan's playing they're playing better ball each week. Each week as they get into their schedule, they're getting better and better. I will give them that credit. They got better against Rutgers. They got better against Nebraska. They got better against Minnesota. It's looking better. But every week we try to find a reason for them to be number one. Like, we try to talk about the schedule. Well, they have to play who they're playing. They're playing who they're playing, and they're kicking their ass 100%. But just because they have another good win in a bad conference, we can't supplant the team Georgia, who's won back-to-back. Now, Georgia ain't lost a game in 3 years. And they found a quarterback that has had 300-yard games this season. So that was a big thing for Georgia. Can they have a quarterback? Well, they got a quarterback, and this guy's throwing 300 yards a game. This guy looks pretty efficient, and they still have the best player in the country to me, and Brock Bowers. They're still comfortably at number 2. But you look at Oklahoma. We thought Texas was going to be really good, and I still think Texas is a better team than Oklahoma. I just think Oklahoma won that night. Good victory for them. They're 6-0, and they beat Texas. So is Michigan the best team in the country right now? I think they're playing the best consistent ball. Like, I feel like every week they get better. So if you want to say that, I agree with you 100%. But I can't supplant Georgia, who hasn't lost in 3 years, for Michigan based off Michigan playing opponents that aren't even that good. But I will say, it doesn't bother me watching Michigan get better each week, as I'm now looking at the Penn State game, and I'm saying they won't have played anybody by the time they play Penn State. But if they keep playing like this, if they keep playing efficient as they're playing, and every game it's like the game is over faster and faster and faster, I have no problem with Michigan going to Happy Valley and knowing that they're going to get a W against a pretty good Penn State team.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia, Georgia.
They just beat the hell out of Kentucky, and Kentucky was good.
But before this week, Georgia
they haven't done anything.
Just okay. I mean, UT Martin, Ball State, UAB.
Yeah.
It's not like Georgia's been beaten down the doors of schedule either. Now, in conference, they played South Carolina, unranked, won by 10.
Spencer Rattler,
they played
quarterback.
Auburn, won by 7, probably should have lost.
Agreed.
Auburn, unranked.
Yeah.
So it's not like their schedule is markedly different from Michigan's doing.
I'm not arguing the schedule. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's wide open. Like, as it relates to the good teams, it's wide open. And when I say good teams, USC is not a good team. They have the best player.
God, did they escape.
They have the best player in college football as it relates to the Heisman Trophy and what he did. They're not anything. You look at Washington. Washington's not anything. Ohio State, I don't even like Ohio State. And I can't wait to see what Michigan does Ohio State in Ann Arbor, November 25th. Jaden, what's his name? Jaden Daniels or Davis from Jordan Travis, Jordan Travis in Florida State. They got chinks in their armor. None of that. Oregon might be the only team I think that I've seen look consistently decent that could be up there with a Michigan and a Georgia.
And Oklahoma
it's definitely Michigan. And I agree with you, and you have to give them credit for getting that.
They're pretty damn good.
Yeah, but Texas lost that game more than Oklahoma won, and I hate using that rhetoric.
I don't know about that.
They won on the last play of the game. Texas lost that game. So I got to see them again. Here, you know what, Maz? We don't even have to worry about that because guess what? Nobody's in the Big 12, which means those two got to play each other again.
I can't wait.
The problem is now all the pressure is going to be on you-know-who, Oklahoma. Oklahoma was coming off a 41-10 ass-whooping last year. They came in, we got to win, we got to do something. But now when Texas plays Oklahoma, they're the ones coming in with revenge.
That was one of the best
Ryan,
games I've seen.
Georgia and Michigan and everybody else, Ryan.
Did you see what P.J. Fleck said about Michigan?
Best team he's ever seen.
Do we have that?
Yeah, we do.
They're as good as advertised. That's. I said this on the radio a second ago. I think they're the best football team I've seen in 11 years of being a head coach. I've never seen a football team like that deep. I'm not sure if this is true, but I was told this walking off the field. I think they traveled 75 people and maybe played like 74 of them. I don't know. I mean, they're one of the deepest teams, one of the best teams, one of the biggest teams, fastest teams, strongest teams, and they do not make mistakes. They are truly like a boa constrictor, and they do not beat themselves. They're very good at each position. They're very aligned with everything that they do. They know who they are, and they go and execute that game.
You know why P.J. Fleck is saying that? You know why Matt Rule, after Michigan played Nebraska, is saying that? It's because Michigan is still remember when the Big Ten was arguably, in my estimation, I thought they were the best, but they were the best conference in football for a while, 16, 17, 18 in terms of complete conference. Now, obviously, Alabama is still winning, and Georgia was on their way. But that conference, top to bottom, remember the East? Michigan State, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, that's just on one side.
Yeah.
Michigan is still at the level of those teams, but better. but everybody else is falling off.
Yeah.
So P.J. Fleck, when he runs that weak-ass Minnesota team, they're playing grown men in Michigan.
Right.
Like the rest of the Big Ten is not operating at the level Michigan is operating, including Ohio State. Maybe Penn State, will see about it, but they're operating at the level of a bad conference. Meanwhile, Michigan's operating at a high level, even if this was 2016, 17, 18.
Let me just bring this up as a throw it out there. Why doesn't Michigan State go after that guy? I like that guy.
P.J. Fleck?
Yeah.
He's just okay.
He didn't do enough in Minnesota to kind of, like, you're in a tough spot right now in Michigan State. And you say you got the guys to spend money. And you said, man, it should be at the end if you get the right guy. The right guy isn't P.J. Fleck. You need a guy that's going to come in under everything that Michigan State is under, all that stress, all that pressure. You got to go for a right guy. You got to bring somebody like Urban Meyer or like that with a cash or somebody from the NFL that's young or whatever. You got to bring somebody in that they can believe in, and it ain't going to be P.J. Fleck because he's done okay, but he was in the West Mavs and he hasn't gotten to the conference final. It'd be different if P.J. Fleck was on the East and he had gotten there once or, you know.
But he's been in this state before. I just think if you put him with the green and white, it gives him a little bit more power than he had when he was at, was he Western?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just think he would be able to revive that program.
He's been in Minnesota for 7 years. In 7 years in Minnesota, you would have expected him to at least go into one conference championship, considering he's on the weakest side. Like, there got to be 1 year where you beat Wisconsin. There's got to be 1 year where you beat Iowa. In that time frame, he hasn't had that 1 year happen yet. So I wouldn't take a chance.
Can I get back to Michigan and J.J. McCarthy? Here's what Jim Harbaugh. No, we don't have that. Okay,
Jim called him a dog.
Jim Harbaugh called him a dog. Jim Harbaugh. You see Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines with
with the
defense.
With the defense in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
But can I just look? You guys can say what you want, and you guys can kill me and try to.
By the way, dog,
the
D-A-W-G, not a bad dog.
Yeah, right,
a dog.
J.J. McCarthy is going to be the #1 pick in the draft. I'm just telling you.
Matt,
I am doubling down on this. Again, he will be picked over Caleb Williams. I am doubling down on this.
Caleb Williams is winning games with just him.
And that's fine. I'll never convince anybody until it's done. But when Michigan goes 15-0 and they win the national championship this year, he's not going to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams and the ridiculous numbers will probably win the Heisman. But when he goes 15-0, wins the national championship, and then he goes through the combine and all these interview processes.
He'll nail that.
These NFL general managers are gonna fall in love with this kid. And when they talk to Jim Harbaugh about this kid, that will only double and triple and quadruple what they see in him alone. I am doubling down on it. You can tell me I'm crazy. You can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. McCarthy's going to be the #1 player selected, #1 quarterback in the draft. That's just what I think. And
Caleb might go back to school, bro. He makes more money that way.
And that's Shedeur Sanders can make $10 million next year too. Isn't that something too? I forgot Colorado even played this week.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
They beat an unranked Arizona State team, and then Shedeur runs over to. I have that video. Do you have that video? Yeah, this is Shedeur Sanders after they beat, I don't know, a piece of crap Arizona State team.
I thought it was the teams you did.
I don't know how much that watch cost, but he was showing the fans, hey, I got one of these.
Why do people have a problem with anything anymore? Like, just enjoy it. Enjoy it.
He's busting balls.
Like him. He's enjoying it.
That is awesome.
He's enjoying it.
He's going to get a new contract, too. How about that?
If he wants it.
He wants it. That's going to be put to rest. He's going to get it within the next month.
His message is very cryptic, but not so cryptic if you know.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, more here on a Monday. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys. Big Boy burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try that new pretzel bacon chicken cheeseburger. Not the chicken cheeseburger, but the bacon cheeseburger. If you want chicken, you got the Dolly chicken sandwich or Bob's hot chicken sandwich. If you like your chicken a little spicy. How about it? You upgrade those regular fries, by the way, with the chili cheese fries or the loaded baked potato fries, and save room for dessert. They've got the Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake, or satisfy your taste buds with the funnel cake fries. Also, they got the best shakes in town at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, check out Academy of Warren. Their K-8 features, of course, the AM and PM latchkey to small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media centers, K-8 athletics, and a whole lot more. Don't forget that Sports Dome Fieldhouse that will have a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Could also be used for 7-on-7 football. Now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net.
Absolutely. Tom Mazaway, big game tonight. Braylon Edwards, by the way, the news of the New York Jets offensive guard Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah, Elijah Vera Tucker. He's probably their most valuable offensive lineman to the tune of he's like Vitae in the sense he can play right and left guard, and also he can play center as well. So they're losing. That's it.
That's the worst thing that could happen to them.
That was the one. That was the guy, and he's out for the season. So that's. You're talking about the Jets just get off a win by the beating the Dolphins. They're 3-2.
Broncos.
No, 2-3. They beat the Broncos, but they damn sure beat the Dolphins. But that hurts, especially with this kid starting to get some momentum, and now he's going to be out there running for his life. So it's like he's like right back.
Breece Hall was amazing yesterday.
177 yards.
Amazing. That kid has got it.
Boy, they wanted that game too.
They did.
They did.
And they got it.
Game, yeah.
And they got it. Hey, let me go to the Lions for a quick second. Brian Baldinger, who we love to chat about, NFL.com, NFL analyst, former player, of course. He breaks down video like nobody's business. Here's what he thought about the Lions when they snapped the ball through Jared Goff's legs to David Montgomery.
Been watching football a long time, never seen this play. Jared Goff's going to be signaling for somebody to motion. And Frank Ragnow, the center, is going to snap it right between Goff's legs, right to David Montgomery. And Carolina's caught off guard. And David Montgomery on 3rd and 6 runs for 10 yards. Never seen that before. Like, you watch this right here, and there's Jared Goff, and there goes the ball. And Carolina is just caught napping. David Montgomery had over 109 yards rushing, gets 10 of those yards right there.
What'd you think of that play when you guys saw that?
The best part of that way is Jared Goff got his ass out the way after the ball was snapped. Because those are those plays that you're like, say something tricky can happen if Jared Goff tries to mix it up or if they don't do it the right way. The best thing I like is he got right out of the way after the ball was snapped.
When I saw that play, I had to rewind it again and try to figure out what the hell I was seeing because I still couldn't tell that that's what he did. I thought Goff might have been under guard, and just kind of have the center snap it to Monty, but that wasn't the case. And I kept thinking to myself, that's Pee Wee football.
That's amazing.
You don't even see that in high school.
I wonder how much fun they had designing that play.
It goes back to when you know you're dominating, like you start coming up with stuff like this, you start to have fun, and the Lions know that they are in a space where they're better than the Panthers, they're better than the Packers, they're better than the Falcons, they're better than the Bucks. When you start to see SHIT like that, Ryan Ermanni, it is letting you know that that's how they feel about the teams that they're playing.
What were the Panthers saying then? What were they saying to each other?
Man, now that's the type of stuff that gets you mad. Like, you still don't even know how it happened.
Yeah.
The only person that knew exactly what happened was the guy that was right over the nose tackle, and he still didn't know what happened. It's not till they watch that film on the plane, or like what are
they going to do when they watch that film? What are the coaches going to say?
Be mad at the Lions. be mad at the Lions.
They think they showed them up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess he did catch him off guard, and they did get a 3rd and 6. They were able to run the ball, and they were able to capitalize. But that's
showboat.
I was happy they got it, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to be the guy that says it's a bad play. Look, hey, I liked it. You leave it at that.
Hey, Monday Night Football tonight from Vegas. Raiders a home favorite, only a 2-point favorite over the Green Bay Packers. Ryan, what does a Raiders win mean to the Lions?
That they've got essentially a 3-game lead in the division after 5 games.
That's unbelievable.
I told you guys when this season started, we were looking game by game, and the season went by. And we looked at the last home game of the year, and we said, is that going to be for anything? I said, yeah, it's going to be for home field advantage because this team will lock up the division with more than a month to go in the season. They will lock up the division with more than a month to go in the season. There isn't a team in this division, Green Bay, Chicago, or Minnesota, that is going to win more than 8 games. I think everybody here laughed at me about that, especially you with the Minnesota team.
I had the Lions winning 13 games.
Minnesota has lost 3 one-score games and 1 one-score game.
I told you. I told you. Hey, can I say something about the Raiders too?
Please.
I was just taking a look. You know, one of the things about the mock drafts. Remember how many mock drafts had the Lions taking Tyree Wilson?
True.
In their mock draft.
Oh yeah.
Well, the defensive end from
the
Texas
Raiders,
Tech.
yeah.
Well, the Raiders did take him,
and he looked like a monster. On draft night.
He has played 4 games. He has 4 solo tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss, no forced fumbles, no nothing, no this, no that. Just 4 measly tackles.
They have swung and missed
it.
More on first-round picks than I can remember a team doing.
Not saying he's some bust after 4 games, but I mean, looks like the Lions got the right guys.
The problem with the Raiders, and it worked under Al Davis, it worked a lot. He used speed. He would go after anybody that was fast, and a lot of times he would get it, but he would do it at certain positions. Now, with Mark Davis and the way they do it, they're just trying to swing at a trend. Like, every time they get in the draft, it's like you see players that you should draft, and it's like, you know what? The hell with this guy. Give me Cleveland Farrell. I think we could do something with him. Cleveland Farrell was a safety / DN. You didn't know what the hell he was.
I never even heard of Cleveland Farrell before they took him.
2 sacks in that.
Yeah, he was Clemson.
He was Clemson. It's like, let's get him. Like, they're always trying something, man. Everybody needs to rush in right now. Tyree Wilson.
The Raiders are a mess, man.
Terrible, man.
They are a mess.
I think they win tonight, though.
They might.
Devontae Adams may not play.
Oh, really?
I need him. I need him.
He may not play.
Why wouldn't he play?
I just saw something.
He's questionable.
He's questionable. He got injured last week.
You know who else is
Aaron Jones is also unlikely to play tonight. Aaron Jones.
Oh, really?
He made the trip, but he's limited at practice. But unlikely
Does he ever play? Does Aaron Jones ever play?
Here and there. He played 2 games, I believe, before he got hurt.
I would. Devontae Adams against the Packers tonight. You'd think.
I know he's going to be out there. Yeah. He has to be out there. Side note, I did all that bragging when I was 4-0, so I got to humble myself to the masses. 4-1 now. Ryan Lynch, he beat me this past weekend in fantasy football.
You have a bad week.
So nobody played, man. Don't get me started. Dak was my quarterback. That's enough said.
That happens.
Dak and Tony Pollard were both on my team.
Mac Jones should not play. There's a rumor out there now that Mac Jones, no wonder he's on the crap list. Ryan, I need you to read that for me.
A source close to Patriots quarterback Mac Jones says no matter how good of a cook you are, you cannot make garbage taste good when talking about the team's lack of weapons on offense. That is what Mac Jones said about his teammates. I'll tell you, he's not wrong. And maybe you shouldn't say it, but this team
a mess.
This team has such a lack of offensive talent. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, there isn't a quarterback, Joe Burrow, there isn't a quarterback in this league. Now, you can criticize Mac Jones all you want. There is not a quarterback in this league that could go to New England and win football games right now. Period. End of story. They don't have anybody that scares you on this team.
Ray, before you say something, Bill Belichick yesterday after the game. This puts it all in perspective for you.
And just plain and simply, we got to find a way to, play and coach better than that. And so that's what we're going to do. Start all over and get back on a better track than we're on right now.
Bill, you said you guys need to start over. Have you ever had to do that before, 5 games into the season, just for reference? I mean, is it something new?
Yeah, I've done it before.
What does that entail, starting over?
Starting over.
Final question?
Yours.
Look, man, it's a sad situation. If I'm Robert Kraft, it's over. And the conversation that you got to have, this is the conversation. And I'm not taking credit for this. I heard this, I think, who else said this? Dan Orlovsky said this morning. The conversation, Shannon Sharp and Dan Orlovsky said, you're Robert Kraft, you call him into the office, you got to tell him, look, first of all, your reigns as GM, your reigns as player personnel, your reigns as being able to scout, doing all the other stuff. If you want to stay the head coach of the New England Patriots, you can no longer do anything in the front office, anything in the GM. You just have to be the head coach. Like, you have to be the head coach because he still has power to draft players and make moves. We thought that he wasn't going to have it this year. He still brought in Bill O'Brien. He still drafted 3 offensive linemen and 2 special teams players. I repeat, the slowest receiver corps in the NFL. This is what you have. Oh, and by the way, you overpaid Juju Smith-Schuster. The slowest receiver corps in the NFL, and you drafted 3 offensive linemen and 2 special teams players, and one of those special teams players in the 3rd round. Like, what is wrong with Bill Belichick? So Robert Kraft has to have that conversation, and he has to tell him, if you're not willing to just coach, then after the season, this will be your last season. And I agree with Shannon Sharp. I agree with Dan Orlovsky. That's the conversation that needs to happen now, and that's the conversation. If Bill Belichick isn't willing to do that, at the end of the season, we appreciate all you've done for the New England Patriots. We appreciate everything that you've put in place, 6 Super Bowl champions. But at the same time, show must go on.
Guys, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience a Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the Steak Shop, one of my favorite places in the world. I love going to that place. In Grosse Pointe Woods, grab-and-go steaks, or if you can't make it in person, order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Age prime cut to perfection.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Hey, gang, want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did. By adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, they offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. All right, Tom Mazaway.
All right, hey, we talked Patriots. I've had this one on the side for us. This girl comes up with all these new logo designs, redesigns. I think this one is a winner, and we'll talk over it because it's got music, so we'll talk over it. How about this for the new Patriots logo?
Oh, let me see it.
It's kind of old and new put together.
Okay, I see it. Okay, I see it.
Check it out.
Okay,
that's the Gillette. You know, they got that at Gillette. It's the lighthouse. So he's got the lighthouse.
All right, he's got the lighthouse.
He's got a little of that still, that USFL Patriot. That's Pat the Patriot, and now he morphs into this new Patriot. You know who loves this? Stingray Steve says he's going to get a tattoo of this. Look how nice that is.
Oh, yeah. That looks pretty good.
That's a good look.
That looks pretty good.
Now, Parker, what did you say about this young lady?
She is the runner-up for the Browns redesign.
Really?
Yeah, she was the runner-up.
Okay.
I don't remember the Browns redesign.
She does some good stuff.
Haven't we used her before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I said, yeah. Okay.
She did the Lions. In
Yeah,
fact,
she
like
did.
wrote out Lions and scrunched it up.
Yeah, I didn't care for that
I
one.
didn't either.
I like this one.
That's good.
A lot. And guess what the Buccaneers are wearing this weekend?
The all whites.
They're wearing the creamsicles.
Oh, the Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are going to wear.
Yeah.
They're going to wear Bucko Bruce against the Lions this Sunday, and of course that's a 4:25 game. Don't forget to tune into the post-game show. I'll be here after that game. Now, do you know the Broncos lost officially now to all their exes? Ryan, you can read those.
Oh, my gosh. 5 weeks into the season, Denver has lost to their former head coach, Josh McDaniels, defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, head coach, Vic Fangio, ball boy, Mike McDaniel, and former head coach, Nathaniel Hackett.
How classic.
It's a lot of losing.
Yeah, he is literally – he's torn the team down to rebuild them. So I'm going to give Sean Payton – I'll give him a little bit. I'll give him a little leeway.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a 3-13 in 1 year, and then you get a little bit of improvement next year.
He wants a quarterback. You don't want Russell.
Yeah, no, you don't want Russell.
I give him some leeway, but I go back to the fact, and this is one of the big questions I asked when he was coming in, is what you did was a long time ago. Like, will you have that success now? Can you just plug and play again? And I understand he was one
without Drew Brees.
Like, and that's why I'm being honest. Like, can you do that? Look at John Gruden.
Yep.
Like John Gruden will say, oh, man, we got the guru back. He's back with the Raiders. John Gruden struggled.
This is a very simple league, guys. If you got Tom Brady, you're Bill Belichick, the Hall of Famer.
Yep.
If you don't got Tom Brady, you're Bill Belichick, the guy that's 12 games under 500. Woo. If you got Drew Brees, you're Sean Payton, the Hall of Famer. If you don't got Drew Brees, you're Sean Payton, can't win another game in the NFL. If you're Andy Reid, if you got Donovan McNabb, you go to the Super Bowl. If you got Patrick Mahomes, you go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a very simple league at its core. If you have a good quarterback, you can win. If you don't, you'll lose. It's just the way of the world.
Hey, a little baseball for you guys. If you missed it over the weekend, I don't blame you. I can hardly find the damn games anywhere. Anyway, the American League Division Series, the Rangers are now the favorite to win the World Series. They are beating the Orioles 2-0. The Twins tied up the Astros. That's at 1-1. Today, you got 2 games. You have the Phillies up 1-0 at the Braves. That's a good game, man. And you got the Dodgers who got whitewashed the other night playing the Diamondbacks. D-backs up 1-0. If you could find these games and put them in with Monday Night Football, you got a pretty good night of sports coming up.
You like Arizona tonight.
I like Arizona, and I like the Phils. I know everyone's going to bet the Braves tonight with Max Fried. But Zach Wheeler is going to deal tonight. I'm telling you, don't be scared of the Phillies.
The fighting Phils.
Bet the 2 dogs tonight.
Look at you, Tom Mazaway.
Taking the Phils.
And I think the Packers are going to win, unfortunately, tonight. Not unfortunately. They're not going to challenge the Lions. They really are not.
Shout out to somebody I brought up last week, Ryan Ermanni, I made a comparison after the game. Brian Branch and how well he played last 2 weeks. Brought him up. I said he reminded me of the Honey Badger. Well, guess who had a pick 6 this weekend? Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Look at that guy.
How about that?
Look at that guy.
Bringing back some of that old school style.
All right.
Maybe he wants to come
Maybe
here.
he could be a Lion.
Yeah.
They need a little bit of help, maybe. Some
It's
depth.
true.
Hey, Janoris Jenkins is out there.
Janoris Jenkins out there. Maybe
Bring
he
the
should
rabbit
be
here.
a Lion.
Bring the rabbit here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Bray, get us out of here, my friend.
Yo, you know what time it is? Detroit Lions, winners of 4 of 5 on the year, 4-1. And where do they fit in the process? Oh, we know they're in the top 5 now. More to come on the Lions this week. What are they looking to do? And also, we'll talk some injuries. We'll get you abreast of who they look to bring in if they need to. We'll talk a little more college. I don't know why. You know who's number 1. It's Big Blue Quarter Ryan Ermanni. And I will second that very, very soon. But for JB, Parker, Uncle Maz on the couch, my brother from another mother, Ryan Ermanni over there.
My man.
We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and we appreciate you guys. I will see you tomorrow.